Yay, I think we're live. There we go. Good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday to you. My apologies for coming on a little bit later this morning. I had an errand to run, so I had to see to that first. So we were a little bit later this morning. But happy Tuesday and welcome, and hope you've had a good start to your week. And if you're watching live, say hi, tell me you can hear me, you can see me, and that everything is okay. That would be great. So as usual, I like to start off with my essential oil of choice for this week. And this week we are looking at grapefruit essential oil. Grapefruit. So grapefruit as itself, as the fruit is one of my very favorite fruits. And as we know, it's normally a wintertime fruit. So we're coming to the end of that season. But my grapefruit goes with me throughout the year. My grapefruit essential oil can go with me throughout the year. So generally, grapefruit. Well, let's start off with what it smells like. Hi, Cecile. Thanks for joining us. For me, it's a beautiful, light, fresh scent. It's quite sweet compared to the fruit itself, which is really sour and bitter. The essential oil is surprisingly sweet and fresh. It's got a lovely tang to it, and yeah, I love it. I just love the scent of it. It makes me feel really good. It's really uplifting, and it's probably the one word to describe this oil the best would be detox. It's really, really good for helping to clear the to help with lymph drainage, to help with detoxification of the liver, support kidney function, all of those things are really, really good for our bodies, and especially good for emotional issues as well, in a way that it helps us to get clarity, to clear, again, that clearing effect, to clear negative emotions, to unpack the layers of things, especially if we're trying to support emotional healing in some way, helping us to sort of unpack those layers and clear out things, and get the energy flowing again. So grapefruit is a lovely one for that. For dogs in particular, it's a safe oil to use for dogs, to offer dogs. And it's certainly one I like to offer. Layla takes this quite often. She, with her allergies and things, sometimes her liver gets a bit congested, and she really enjoys sniffing this oil from my hands when she's obviously needing a little bit of support in that area. So it's a lovely one for decongestion, for liver support, and even for dogs with pancreatitis, for instance. You would have to be very careful of any oils, etc., but certainly offer them something like this. This could certainly help to support fatty digestion as well. I'm not talking about internally, I'm just talking about externally now. Grapefruit is one to safely use internally, but it would have to be 100% therapeutic grade, and you would certainly have to make sure that use it safely with the guidance of somebody who knows their stuff. So grapefruit is my essential oil of choice for today. So anybody here watching, anybody know grapefruit, use grapefruit. One thing I need to mention, it's a phototoxic oil like many of the citrus oils, which means it can cause a reaction when combined with sunlight. So for instance, if you put it on your hands and you go out for a walk in the sun, you may find that you get a rash or discomfort, itching, some kind of reaction on your skin caused by that. So not one to use on your face, neck, or hands, preferably under your clothing, or at least give it a good period of a few hours before you go out into the sun when you're using grapefruit and other citrus oils. So just to remember that. So should we get on to our topic then? Hopefully there's some of you here. Let's get on to our topic, why we shouldn't be aiming to stop our dog's reactivity. So that might seem a little bit odd for most of you here, because that's the reason you came here, is to to support or help, or to fix your dog's challenging reactive behavior. So it seems quite controversial if I say we shouldn't be aiming to stop the reactivity at all. So what do I mean by that? So what I'm really talking about, and what what I would like to explore in this conversation is what really is reactivity. Let's just have a look at what we mean by reactivity, because this is a word that is used quite openly, quite frequently in the dog training community. Your dog is reactive. I have a reactive dog. So it's a label that we've given our dogs. It's a term that we use a lot in training and behavior. But what do we actually mean? Because any reaction to anything in the environment is quite normal. If somebody puts their hand up to me and I move back, that's a reaction. So reaction is just responding to something, some stimulus in your environment. It's just taking some kind of action and responding in some kind of way. So I think we need to unlabel our dogs and take this reactivity label off them, start to understand what it really means, and perhaps redefine that word or reframe it, as it were. Because, as I said, reactivity or a reaction to something is just a normal behavior. What I think we're really trying to mean by that is an overreaction. So it's something that is an exaggerated form of behavior in reaction to that specific thing that's in the environment, that's triggering them to feel whatever they're feeling. So it's more of an overreaction as opposed to being reactive. And it's uncomfortable for us because it's loud. It's often in the form of barking or lunging or growling, snapping. And these are loud behaviors. These are, uh, big emotions coming out of us. And we feel uncomfortable with that. We feel uncomfortable watching our dogs do it. We feel uncomfortable with, our dogs being that way in public environments. There's a lot of fear from our side underneath that. And so there is a lot of stigma around, that behavior. But really, we know, and we talk about this often in this group, behavior is simply a means of communicating how that animal is feeling. And just like we humans would do the same. If we're happy, we show our emotions in a happy way. If we're angry, we also show our emotions in an angry way. If we're frustrated, we feel the need to speak louder, get our message out there, do something more, go get them in order to get the attention that we're seeking, or whatever it is that we want to be heard and understood and felt, and we want to feel that our words matter and that we matter. And so we have the same things. It's just an expression and a way of communicating how we're feeling underneath. And if we use the iceberg analogy, as it were, the overreactions, the shouting, barking, lunging, all of those things that we see is just the tip of the iceberg. It's like this is the end sort of symptom of what is really going on underneath. And underneath is that huge iceberg of so many different things. And it certainly represents emotions on a much broader scale. We often talk about our dogs being fearful when they're reactive or overreactive. And it's not necessarily just fear. Fear is certainly a big part of it. It could be a general anxiety because dog may have had some kind of trauma in their life, ongoing stress. So there could be underlying general anxiety. There could be frustration there. It could be real frustration because their person is not getting them or understanding them, or they can't seem to get, that communication path going with their person. It could be anger. It could be downright anger because they've been living with frustration for a long time. It could be pain and illness that's causing them to feel irritable and don't want people to come to them, don't want other dogs in their environment because they're they're uncomfortable, they're in pain. There could be so many things underneath there. So the behavior that we're seeing on the top, the overreaction, is simply the tip of the iceberg. And instead of us trying to stop that behavior, instead of us trying to put a lid on that behavior, what we really should be doing is saying, wow, this is information for us. This is information about what may be going on underneath. These are real clues. These are real clues for us to wake up and say, gosh, what's going on here? How can I get to understand what's going on for my dog so that I can support them better? In a better way, to feel more balanced and comfortable and calm and whatever it is we need, so that they don't have to shout, they don't have to overreact in situations like this. So for me, really, it's instead of trying to aim to, if you've reaching out for a trainer or a behaviorist or somebody to help you with your dog's behavior, your dog's reactive behavior, I really think we should, that person that you approach should be saying, let's look at this holistically. This is what we're seeing at the top of the iceberg. Let's investigate to find out what's going on for that individual dog. How can we change things for them, from the environment, from food, from having their needs met, all of those things. Let's look at a holistic picture to help support that dog to feel more comfortable in themselves, and not just have to just put a lid on it. So don't aim to put a lid on it, because it's going to come out somewhere else. If we just put a lid on those behaviors, we need to explore and help the dog to express themselves in a different way, help them to feel more comfortable. So let me just check my notes here to see if there was anything else. Yeah, another thing that I thought about is, we know these days when there's a large amount of the population, so many people suffer from anxiety and depression. And we know these days that these are really, these are mental illnesses, as they termed, and they certainly issues that don't go away simply by, saying, snap out of it, get yourself out of it, get yourself up and into the world and go and be happy. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. There's layers and layers, deep layers of emotional feelings, emotions, experiences, all of that, that's got that person to where they are today. And they need time to help to slowly uncover these. And hence why I love grapefruit oil today, is it's slowly helping that individual to uncover, to bring up, to help them uncover those emotions, see what's causing all that distress and discomfort, and help them to come back to a place of balance, and where they feel supported, and where they feel heard and needed, and they feel that they have something to give to the world. And it's the same with our dogs. These symptoms of anxiety and depression is very often what we're seeing in overreactive behavior. And it's those symptoms that we need to take as information to help us to slowly uncover those layers for the dog, and help them to bring their emotions into balance, to bring their bodies into balance, and to feel a lot better about how they express themselves out in the world. So I think that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you today. It's quite a short one. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear them in the chat right now. There's a couple of you watching. Just go back here. Cecile says, you experienced something similar with orange oil. Yes, in your bath. I love orange as well. Orange, all the citrus oils to me are very special. I really enjoy them. And at the moment this week, grapefruit is my favorite. But funny you say that, because when I was deciding which oil, and I always let my intuition decide, it was between wild orange and grapefruit. So this, yeah, very similar. So yes, I'd love to hear from you. I'm not sure if you are watching this on Facebook. I'm not sure. I better just check in case. Yeah, not sure. I did post the link in Facebook, so it might be streaming live there as well. So I'm not sure if there's comments there. But I just wanted to say, oh, there we go. There's one from Cecile. Interesting to underline how we label someone else's behavior based on how we feel. Yes. How we identify with it rather than based on what is going on for them. So true, Cecile, so true. And this is what I talk about. And really, we go into real depth in it in my Pause, Reflect, Connect class, is where we step into our dog's pause and see things through their eyes, try to understand their perspective on the world, because we all have that individual perspective of the world and how we interact with our world. And we are like that through molding of so many things, through our genetics, through our experiences, through the people that we've met during our lives, through the experiences we've had in our lives, make us who we are, and how we perceive the world and how we perceive different things in our environments. And it's exactly the same with the dogs. They have their own perspective on the world due to all of those things that have come in because of who they are as individuals. And we, as Cecile says, it's so easy to say, my dog is fearful, my dog is frustrated, my dog is reactive, my dog is all of these things, putting labels of them, of how we would perceive they are. But underneath, we don't know that until we start to really uncover those layers for them. We don't really understand their perception. Nobody can really step into somebody else's shoes 100%, because everybody's experience of the world is different. But we can try to take our ego out of the way and put ourselves in our dog's paws and try to understand how they're perceiving the world, because it's when we can do that we step into a place of empathy, curiosity, and understanding. And all of a sudden, so many doors open, because dogs are suddenly feeling that they heard, that they understood, and they're feeling supported, as opposed to feeling frustrated or angry or anxious because somebody's trying to stop them from doing what they just think is a normal reaction to what's going on around them. So yes, thank you for that, beautiful Cecile, and lovely conversations we can have around that, stepping into our dog's paws, shifting perspective. And this is one of the main things I aim to do when I work with clients, is to help them to understand their dog better and to see what's going on underneath that, and really move into a place of support as opposed to a place of, let's fix this behavior. It doesn't suit me. It's not acceptable behavior. The dog is not doing it just because they feel like being nasty. All right. So thank you very much for joining me. Thanks, lovely people. It was great to spend some time with you again. I hope to see you in the Facebook group. And now that I have 3 of the courses that I've just that I started in January have now come to an end, I'll have more time for you. So I'll be doing lots of more social media stuff, some more newsletters, some more blog posts, and some more lives and things. So I look forward to seeing you in the group, or jump onto our mailing list so you know what's happening. I've got lots of exciting stuff coming up. So thank you very much. Thanks for joining me. Thanks, Cecile, always for interacting with me and commenting. It's really lovely. I appreciate that. Okay, everyone, have a wonderful day, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.